All right, hey, welcome back, guys. Today I'm out here with the 1967 Winchester Model 70. Not a pre-64, but it wasn't, you know, 2,500 bucks either. This was a gun broker find and never shot it yet. It has, you know, a few scuffs, but it's in great condition and the bore looks good. At least, you know, with the, you know, shining the light through it, it looked fine. Anyway, yeah, you can see the cost-cutting measures here that Winchester did. We've got pressed checkering. We've got the Remington 700 style bolt now. But yeah, other than that, I don't know what else the differences were other than going to, you know, cheaper methods of production. And what I can see here is the pressed checkering and the obviously not control round feed Mauser style action. This one has, what drew me to it are the iron sights here. And we've got a nice hood on that. And there's the rear. But the goofy thing is, this style, this comb is, I mean, does not work with those iron sights. It puts your eyesight way too high. And I'm not the only one who has tried to aim it. Pretty much if they wanted the iron sights to be usable, that big cheek piece did not need to be there. So I have it mounted with a Redfield Revolution 3-9, and I hate that it's matte and we've got nice glossy blue on this with a matte scope. I'm not a fan, but you can't get recently new scopes that aren't, I mean, nobody has scopes that are gloss blued anymore. But we're gonna shoot it, see how it does. Here is the Winchester Model 70. The 1967 Winchester Model 70. Gosh, I love that front sight. Look at that. That big old hood. But with this stock, with that comb, it's absolutely useless. That comb is way too high to see through that sight. But we have a Redfield Revolution 3-9 b40 on there. So here is a close-up of the jeweled bolt handle. They cut costs and then jeweled the bolt handle. Pressed in the checkering. He's got a floor plate, good shape. There's that fat comb. Looking through the scope, it feels great, but you wouldn't want to use those open sights with it. We've got a couple boo-boos. The worst one being right there. Looks like it's some, you know, damage from being in the safe. Not mine. Yeah, this is the sling that it came with. So there's that. Anyway, never shot this one, so we need to bore sight it. Let's get started. We have an old Cabela's bore sight here. I thought it'd be fun to use on this. So, wow. Who remembers these? Let's see if I can get a shot through the camera here. There we go. That's what it looks like. So we're going to put this on the end of the barrel with the appropriate stud, and then we're going to line the scope up with it. We have to pick out the 30 cal stud here. We then insert the stud into the bore sight. Okay, and then we put this on the end of the barrel. get it straight. All right, now we commence with bore sighting. We line it up with the scope. Okay, I'm gonna get the camera in here and see if I can show you through the scope what it looks like. Looks like we need to come up about three inches. So let's try that. Let's start there. All right. See if I can get this going again to show you what it looks like now that I've corrected it. There we go. That's the scope crosshairs and the little grid from the bore sight. All right, this was the Cabela's scope sighter and stud set. I'll try to remember to get a close-up picture of that. Okay, time to paste a target. Let's see how close we got. All right, guys. Remington Core Lokt 150 grain, 30-06. Let's set up the chrono here. New session rifle. Wow, these are some of these are dinged up pretty good. Holy cow. You probably won't be able to see them, but they all right. Let's see how well the bore sight did. We need to go down. Okay, let's try one more. We were on the steel, but not on the target. (28, 21 feet per second). There we go. Moved it down. Now we're on target. I probably should have left it where it was and not used the bore sight tool. 2893. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's do a few more. Another 3-shot group. All right. Barrel's cooled down. I'm not going to be able to get that sling off without a pair of pliers, so we're just going to work around it. Let's shoot the bottom left. .2881. Okay, I think I pulled that first one. Okay. Remington Core Lokt. Let's move this over. All right. Just leave it at 4 for now. Barrel's nice and warm. Holy cow. I'm going to let that barrel cool and go stick up a new target. All right, guys. Got the target patched. We'll shoot one more group of the Remington Core Lokt, and then I've got a box of older hand loads that we did, and not for this rifle. They were for another rifle, but they're just with 150 grain standard size stuff. So we'll see how those do. All right, let's carry on. $28.98. $28.75. All right. 2883. Okay, well, looks like that settled in okay. Just right there around the center. Okay, well, we'll let this cool down some more. Yeah, it gets warm after 3 shots of that. 2883. Okay, I'll let this cool off. We'll go patch the targets again and shoot some of these hand loads. Are we cooling down? Yeah, we feel good. Okay, I went ahead and just patched the target. I'm starting to run low on those. We're just gonna, I've got some old hand loads here. Hornady, 150 grain soft points, H4895 powder. Let's see how these do. It looked like it was settling in okay. That last group looked like it was 2.5 inches, but it was, you know, right there in the middle here at 100 yards. You know, 1967. I'm not saying that, you know, other old rifles won't stack 3 holes right in each other, but I mean, it's the first time I've shot this thing, and you know, it's got a, you know, Redfield Revolution. They're not the most expensive scopes around. Just one I had laying around. So it definitely did not come with a sub MOA guarantee. Not that that does any good for me anyway, even if it did. So yeah, let's carry on here. Let's see where it puts these. I feel like just holding it at the back, right in the middle. $26.66. Now these are loaded a little slower than the Remington Core Lokt. $26.32. Well, didn't feel like I pulled that one, but it was definitely just a tad lower. Oh, that was, oh wow, 25.62. That was like 100 feet per second slower on that load. Dang. That's why, that's got to be why that one was so much lower. Holy cow. Yeah, that group, what do we have? Let's look at the 104 feet per second. I'm going to say if that was loaded and right up there with those others, we would have had a really good group. I'm blaming that hand load on that one. Let's start a new, I'm going to start a new session. How are we doing? Yeah, we're still warm. Barrel's warm. It's not hot. It's a warmer day today, so it's taking a lot longer to cool off. So we're going to shoot the upper right hand. You know, honestly, I really don't care if the bullet's traveling 2,600 feet per second or 28. I want it to group the best it can. If it groups better with a slower bullet, then I'm fine shooting that. We're not taking 600-yard shots here. I mean, we're talking 130-yard shots here in Arkansas, in the hills where I am. There we go. All right, let's just carry on. All right, guys. Let's do the next group. $26.82. $26.80. Wow, when they're close, looked like we put those two right together. There we go. $26.61. Oh, dang. That's that's tightening up good. Wow. All right. The old rifle, the old girl's starting to look pretty good. Okay, well, we're just going to wait for this barrel to cool and fire off the last group. It looks like with hand loads at least, this is gonna shoot pretty darn good. Gosh, guys, I think we're gonna be cool enough now just to pop off this last 3-round group. Let me get the other cameras set back up. We have all the cameras recording right now. Here we go. Last 3 shots. Let's do this on the upper right. No, let's do this on the upper left. $26.95. These are kind of all over the place. $26.52. Man. Okay. All right. I'm done. I'm done. She has settled in nicely. Holy cow. There we go. Each group has tightened up. That is amazing. Okay, could not get the Mossberg to do that. 30-06, a different 30-06, and this is what we get. I'm going to shoot other factory ammo out of this too, and we'll see how those compare. But I shot hand loads a few times out of the Mossberg and did not get groups like that. So there you go. All right, well, let's wrap this up. Oh, I wonder what, we'll do some trigger pull stuff probably is what we need to do. Okay. That is 3 pounds, 15 ounces. 3 pounds, 15. Next. That was 4 pounds, 3.8 ounces. Three pounds, 10 ounces. Three pounds, 5 ounces. All right, let's do one more. Three pounds, 14 ounces. So it's right under a okay, average of those 5 pulls was 3 pounds, 13 ounces. So there's the trigger pull. 22-inch barrel. I believe this is a 22-inch barrel on this one. All right, guys, the 1967 Winchester Model 70. Oh, I was starting to worry there at the beginning. The groups with those Remington Core Lokts were kind of big. The last one, even though they were around the center bullseye, was still a 2.5-inch group, but by the end, they tightened up good. We're going to go down there and measure that. 1967 Winchester Model 70 gun broker find. This is what I picked up after I sold the Mossberg. This old girl did pretty good. I'm proud of her. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.